Good morning, ladies. How's everybody today? I have
Yes.
Diane here. Hi, Diane.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So what have you been up to, Diane?
Well, we've had some beautiful summer days, and today is one of those. And over the weekend, my husband and I took a little jaunt to Gothenburg, which is always a favorite trip of ours. So that was a great way to spend the Sunday. And by the way, thanks for inviting me here today, because I do have some questions about vitamin D. A few weeks ago, I had my annual physical. And as a part of that, my doctor asked me to take a blood test, of course. And that result showed that I was low in vitamin D. And I didn't even know they tested for it. What could you tell me about that?
Yep, I was actually tested this spring also, which I didn't know she tested for it either. And I got the call that, hey, you're low in vitamin D, which I was a little bit surprised myself. I knew they tested other people for it. I just didn't know she tested me. But so we get vitamin D naturally from the sun. And during the winter months, the sun is naturally farther away and we're outside less. So it makes sense that we get less sun. And our body makes vitamin D from our bare skin being exposed to the sun. Plus, as we age, we lose the ability to make vitamin D from the sun. So it all makes sense that we might be lower that time of year. And then also with the clouds and being kind of gray skies during the winter time, it makes sense that we get less exposure to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're getting more outside because it's so warm out, we are wearing more sunscreen, which is a great form of protection. But it does limit the amount of vitamin D our skin produces. And your skin does not always make vitamin D from sunlight from a window too, if you're just sitting inside with, just the window between you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I like to read on the sun porch, thinking that, hey, I'm getting my vitamin D, but like Elise said, I'm not getting any because it doesn't come through the windows at all. So, unless you're outside, you're not actually getting the vitamin D. And then also, people that have like Crohn's disease or celiac disease, they also will lack in vitamin D because their body cannot produce the vitamin D because of their condition. So.
And if you don't want to always get it from like the sunlight, you can also get vitamin D from food sources, although it's in very low amounts. So like fatty fish like tuna, salmon, or trout, and especially fish liver oils are like the best sources of natural sources of vitamin D. But if you get it from cheese or mushrooms or egg yolks, there's very small amounts of vitamin D in those also.
I see. Well, I do get sunshine. I'm able to be outside and out and about in that way. So I can pick up vitamin D through that source. And fortunately, I don't have any of the diseases that you mentioned there, Colleen. But the only area of my lifestyle, I guess, that would be low in vitamin D would be my parts of my diet. I don't eat fish often at all. And so I'm wondering, is there something I can do to supplement my diet as a result?
Well, some foods have vitamin D added to them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the U.S. milk supply has vitamin D added, and it'll say that right on the jug of milk. And then also like your soy milk, if you're drinking that, or almond milk, those were also fortified. And then your breakfast cereals, it'll say fortified with vitamin D on the box.
Okay.
Like orange juices and yogurt. So there are other foods that are fortified also.
Diane, have you ever looked at the nutrition facts label on products from the grocery store?
I do, yes.
So not every label lists how much vitamin D. So actually, no, every label does list what vitamin D is on there. Not all vitamins and minerals are listed, but 4 that always have to be are the vitamin D, iron, potassium, and calcium. And these are just because people don't get enough of these vitamins and minerals.
I do look at the nutritional label on foods, but primarily we're concerned about fats and cholesterol and sugar and that sort of thing. But I'm wondering, why do we even need vitamin D? And couldn't I just take a multivitamin?
Well, we need the vitamin D for good health. It helps our body absorb calcium, which is one of the main building blocks for our strong bones. And then together with calcium, vitamin D helps protect us from developing osteoporosis, which we know is a disease that thins and weakens our bones and makes us more likely to fracture a bone. And almost 25% of people with have low vitamin D levels that are inadequate for bone health. And, people, especially women of our age, we're at risk of osteoporosis.
Mm.
Your muscles also need it to move, and your nerves need it to carry messages between your brain and your body. And your immune system uses vitamin D to fight off any bacteria or viruses. And so taking a multivitamin is a great way to get vitamin D, but it's always best to get it naturally from the sun.
And I think the amount you need each day depends on your age. So like 20 to 70-year-olds need 600 international units, and the 71 and older need 800 international units. Was that a kitty cat that I saw, Diane?
That was, and I am having a hard time keeping her off of the screen. I'm sorry. She's there again. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It was just kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if a person can get too much vitamin D, though. I have a friend who takes 45 mcgs a day through her multivitamin and calcium tabs. So what would be the concern for taking too much?
Yeah, so yes, you can take or get too much vitamin D. You're not going to get too much vitamin D from the sun because your body limits how much it's going to make. But if you're taking a supplement, you could overdo it or overdose the supplement, and you might get like flu or flu symptoms like nausea, vomiting, that type of thing. So it is always best to consult with a doctor before you would start taking the vitamin D supplement.
Okay.
But I wouldn't worry too much about if you're outside getting too much vitamin D, because your skin does limit the amount of vitamin D it makes.
You mentioned taking a supplement, and my doctor did talk with me about that, taking a vitamin D supplement, but I already take so many other medications for cholesterol, high blood pressure, and that sort of thing. Do you think that a vitamin D supplement could interact negatively with any of those medications?
Yeah, vitamin D supplements may interact with some medications. I know weight loss medications and the cholesterol lowering statins and prednisone are a few.
Okay.
So make sure you check with a pharmacist about those interactions.
Okay.
So Diane, if you're ever curious, Northeast Iowa Area Agency on Aging does have a program called Home Meds, where we go over all your medications, and if there are any medications that may interfere with one another, I will contact your doctor and discuss it with them. And it's a great program, and all you have to do is just call the agency.
Well, thank you both for all the information you've given me today. I know much more now about vitamin D and its importance, and especially the information that you gave at the end, Elise, about Home Meds program. That is definitely something that I'm going to look into. And now I know why my doctor tested the vitamin D levels and why it's so important. Thanks again for all of your help.
And if you're interested in that, you just have to call the 800 number, and that's 1-800-779-8707. So,
All right.
Yep. Well, you have a good day. Take care, and tell your kitty cat to stay off the computer. And Elise, you have a good day too.
You as well.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Okay, if you receive an email notification when the call is.
I still think that was kind of like longer